Hi, it's Cathy from inkingitup.with-cathy.com, and I am back with another fun fold card. Today, this one is called a winged gatefold card, and I first saw this from Matosu Crafts, and I wanted to share it. It opens like this, and then like this. Isn't that pretty? So, what I used for this is the Thoughtful Wishes stamp set, and I used this stamp right here, the Dearest Friend, and You Make Life Better. I also used the Thoughtful Wishes dies. And something interesting I discovered about these dies is with these two that I used, this one here and this one here, they stack. And I thought, oh, I'm gonna have to cut this twice and then trim off the florals. You don't have to do that. When you die cut them, this one stacks perfectly on top of that one, just like that. So what you get is, let me get mine out of my kit, is two die cuts. So I did the stems, one in green, and I did the floral in my Moody Mauve. So now all I have to do is take my adhesive, and again, I would recommend adhesive sheets prior to die cutting, but I didn't do that here, so we'll have to use liquid glue. But you're gonna stack that exactly on top. And as you can see, this will go perfectly on top of that one and leave you with the branches and leaves being green and the florals being the Moody Mauve. So I thought that was really cool that these two dies would coordinate together. So I wanted to point that out to you. For this card, you're going to need a piece of, oh, and then the final die that you're going to use is this Happy Little Things dies, and you're going to use this larger one here that looks like a banner. So this piece here is 5.5 by 9 1/4, and it is scored at 5/8 inches, 2 5/8 inches, 6 5/8 inches, and 8 5/8 inches. Unfortunately, this card, this piece is going to take, you're going to have to use a whole sheet for it. You can't get two of them out of it because normally if you're cutting the 5.5, you're cutting the 8.5 by 11, the 11 into those two, 5.5, and then you have 8.5 this way. And this card is 9 1/4, so it's shy. So you're going to have to use up a sheet for this. But you are going to have a second panel that you can get two out of. And this one is 3 3/4 by 10 1/16. Okay, yeah, I said 1/16. And you're going to score it at 2 and 4. Then you're going to turn it around and score it at 2 and 4. Do not score it at 2, 4, 6, and 8, because that 1/16 of an inch left over, you don't want out here on the end. You want it in this center panel. So that's why it's 2, 2, 2, 2. And if you measure this, this is 2 1/16, because all this bulk as you close needs to be able to fit in there, okay? So those are the two Moody Mauve pieces. I have got lots of Mossy Meadow here. So what I've got is I've got two Mossy Meadow pieces at, these ones are 1 3/4 by 5 1/4. So you've got two of those. And then you have got 4 of these that are 1 3/4 by 3 1/2. Okay. And then you've got a white one that is 1 1 3/4 by 3 1/2. Okay. And then finally, this is the Wildly Flowering DSP, and you're going to need 2 pieces. They are 1 5/8 by 3 3/8, and you need 2 of those. You're going to need 2 pieces of, this is from the, let's see which one this is from, Countryside Inn DSP, and they are 1 3/4 by 5 1/4. You got 2 of those. You've got 1 piece. Now on my original, I had this pattern paper, which was part of the Country Lace DSP, but I ran out of that one. So the one I'm just demonstrating with is from the Countryside Inn DSP, where that is the Country Lace. And this is 3 3/4 by 5 1/4. And then finally, you're going to have a little strip that is 1/2 inch by 3 inches. And then a 2-inch piece of the metallic Pretty Peacock ribbon. With the ribbon, you're going to reach onto one end and you're going to start pulling. Now, if it starts to jam up and knot, start from the other end. So see how this one's starting to jam and knot? That's the end you don't want to go with. You want to go with the other. So switch back to the other and just keep pulling. And this will all come undone. Just like that. And you're going to just get rid of all of that. And now you've got this piece of the gold thread. Does anybody remember our old gold thread? I used to love it for doing this kind of a thing. So because this is so wiggly, I'm going to take my thumbnail and kind of hold it and pull through like this. And that, as you can see, it kind of straightens it out a bit. I suppose you could probably continue to do that and get it even straighter, but this is enough for me. So I'm going to go ahead and pull through all of that. And we'll set that aside for now. Okay, let's go ahead and do our stamping. So on this little piece here, we're going to take Mossy Meadow ink and the Dearest Friend stamp. And then we will die cut that out using that happy little everything die, and it's going to come out looking like this, okay? Next, we'll have 2 of the little Mossy Meadows and the 2 large Mossy Meadows. And for those, we're going to use the Mossy Meadow ink, and we're going to use this leaf pattern, and we're going to ink that up. Now, it's not big enough to do the whole thing, so I'm just going to kind of get the bottom half like that, and then turn it around and repeat it over here like that. And then where I've got some missing spots, I'll just stamp in like that with the very top 2 so that it kind of completes the whole thing. I'll repeat that process here. Don't overthink it, just kind of stamp. You can just move that around. And then I've got these 2, and these you can pretty much catch. You know, maybe not catching in one time, but close. There we go. And one more. Okay. Oh, and then one more, the white piece. Now this one, I want it to just be super watermarked. So I went ahead and I stamped off onto this once. I'm going to stamp off a second time and then a third time. And then I'm going to stamp on here. So I get a really light watermark, just like that. And that's all of the Mossy Meadow. I'm going to bring in the You Make Life Better and my Moody Mauve. And that's going to go right up here. I like that sentiment. Okay, so now we'll do assembly. But before I do that, because this is such a mess, I'm going to move these off. And hopefully my next sheet is not going to be really messy. No, it's not. There we go. Now we're not looking at all that mess. All right, so we'll bring our card back in, and this piece in the center is going to be a mountain fold. And if you don't know the terms of the folds based upon that, this looks like a mountain going up. This looks like a valley going down. So we're going to be mountain, valley, valley, mountain. And that way this one can go in and then this one can go in. And you can burnish those down a bit. This one will go in the center. Attach that one. Just like that. And then the two small ones will go in just to the left and right of that. I'm making sure that the bulk of the plant that I stamped is going straight up with these. The other one, the long ones aren't such a problem because I stamped both directions on them. Okay, and then finally, we've got the other two and then these pieces here. So we're gonna go ahead and put these down onto the green ones. Getting up in that corner. Like this. And there's just a little 1/16 matting on these, so they are tight. Okay, turn those over. And I choose the one that doesn't have as pretty of a pattern to go over on the left-hand side because it's going to be covered up mainly, but anyway, by the die cuts. So I think this one's the prettier, so we're going to put it over on this side. And this one, which doesn't have as much pretty flowers. Still pretty, but not quite as much on this side. Okay. Set those to the side. All right, time to glue this guy to this one. So I'm just gonna run, again, little dots of glue out at the ends of each of the spots that we want to glue down to each other. And the intersections, I guess. we go. And then we make sure that we got the right direction going here. And I just start at that bottom and work each little grouping, pushing them over into where they should fit. That one's got to move over a little. And this one's got to move back this way. There we go. Looks like I have a little piece I need to trim from when I took it out of the die cut. Right down here. There. Okay, there we go. And as you can see, they perfectly line up, just like that. So I'm going to find my dearest friend, my little twine, which I had just a second ago. Here it is. These three. Now I'm going to take my seal and run a bead of it across the center, just like that. So it's nice and sticky. Then I'm going to come over with my thread and wrap it around my hand over and over and over again. I'm not going to worry about how it looks yet. I'm just going to take it and press it down on there. Like that. And I always do it at a little bit of an angle. Then I can turn it around and play with it and move it to where I want it to be. So I can go like that. I can trim off if I've got a little wild one going somewhere. And then I'm going to come back again. And I'm going to put a little bit more adhesive over the top. Just like that. And this is going to go on at an angle onto this. And now I'm seeing I think I want the threads over that direction up at the top. And maybe down here they can go off that way. Okay, so I've got this all now as one piece. So this is going to go over here, but you want to make sure when you place your dimensionals that it doesn't come out here where it's going to hang off. So I don't want dimensionals any further to the right than right about here. So I've got to find my dimensionals. Put 1, 2, 3, just to make sure this all sticks well. Okay, and then this is going to go right on here like that. Now we'll shift to this piece. I'm going to set, so this one you're going to do in a mountain, a valley, and a mountain, just like you did on the other one, okay? Got your center panel that needs to be attached. And it'll go right in here, like that. Now, this one, this is a decision that you have to make. You've got blue panels. This one is actually a stripe like that. Or you've got panels on the back side. So if you like that look there, or do you like the card to look like that at first? And then when you open, then it would be these panels in here like this. I like it the other way because then you don't have two panels repeating right here at the same. So that's the way we're going to do it. So the stripe panels go on the inside. So one will go here. Just like that. And the other will go over here. Just like that. We'll turn it over, and then these two panels will be these two. So let's get some adhesive on them. Are you like me and love fun folds? I have the most fun with them and love to try and figure out easy ways to do them. If you've seen some of my other recent videos, I've got really, the mechanisms that cause things to move and twist. And I like figuring out how to make those mechanisms easy for you to create. Several years ago, I did the pop and twist card. Check that out. I've had a lot of people say that it was the easiest set of instructions for that card that they've ever seen. And I really am proud of that. So let's go back over here. This piece is going to go here. We're going to glue down just this panel. What we do need to do is make sure that that is centered in here. So I'm going to go ahead and use liquid glue so that I've got a little bit of time to get that in there straight, exactly where I want it. Just like that. I'm going to hold the whole thing together and kind of, I don't know, that looks to be about 3/4 or to an inch around each side, maybe. But that looks about right. It doesn't have to be perfect, but you want it to be close. All right. So then you're going to open this up. And I want you to lay that perfectly flat. This is going to overhang this one. That's what you want, okay? Don't try and glue those two together where they meet, because then your card will not close. So you're going to do this and go ahead and lift this up, and you're going to put some glue in here, keeping it inside of this width. So I'm just kind of eyeballing it, and we'll put it just like that. And I'm going to close this down flat. Okay. Keep that flat. I'm going to come over this side, open this side up, and repeat the process. Right over here, keeping that flat. Right? Just like that, flat. Now our last step is to take these little four corners and get rid of them. So we're going to just snip up along the score line and along this edge on all four. Just like that. And there is your card. And so this side will fold in flat, and then this side will fold in flat, and it becomes it's actually a 4-inch by 5.5-inch card. But I hope you like that card,